Are you traveling through Utah and have a desire to experience the iconic Zion National Park? However, maybe you only have 24 hours to spend in the park and you're wondering if it is even worth it to visit with such a short amount of time. My answer to you is absolutely. Welcome to Sarah's Scuba and Travel channel. In this video, I want to share an itinerary with you that will allow you to enjoy the park even in as little as 24 hours. This itinerary assumes that you will arrive at the park around lunchtime. If you are like us, you are traveling from Las Vegas, which is a 2.5-hour drive. Also, be aware that there is a 1-hour time difference between Nevada and Utah, so you actually lose an hour on your journey. Lunchtime is a reasonable time frame to arrive. You can choose to stop and have lunch at a restaurant in Springdale, or go ahead and make your journey into the park. I recommend purchasing the America the Beautiful National Parks and Federal Recreational Lands Pass, especially if you have plans to visit other national parks. The pass is $80 and is good for a year from the month you purchased it. You will use it twice during this itinerary. Entrance into the park without the pass costs $35 per day for a vehicle, or $20 per person per day if you walk into the park. It is worth buying the pass as it covers a vehicle of up to 4 people. Once you enter the park, make your way to the visitor center. Most likely there will be large groups of people in this area, as Zion National Park is one of the most visited national parks in the U.S. Be patient and try to find a parking space at the visitor center. Once you do, you can speak to the rangers and find out about any closures in the park and pick up a park map. Check out the gift shop and get your passport stamps, and explore the outdoor educational exhibits. There are bathrooms and water fill stations in this area as well. Once you are ready, you will want to board a shuttle. The park does not allow private vehicles without a permit just before shuttle stop 3. I recommend taking the shuttle to stop 5, especially if you opted to skip lunch in town. You can grab a bite to eat at the Zion Lodge. From here, hike the Easy Grotto Trail, which gives you your first experience of the massive canyon walls around you. This is a 1-mile hike that ends at the grotto, which is shuttle stop 6. From here, you can cross the bridge and make your way to some of the park's highlights. One of the highlights in this area is Angel's Landing. You are required to apply for a permit to hike this attraction. Permits open the day before and are awarded on a lottery system basis. Your permit will have a specific time you are allowed to climb. You are required to have the permit downloaded to your phone and be able to present your permit to any ranger that requests to see it. The reason for the permits is to limit the number of people on this popular attraction at any given time. You can apply for seasonal permits as well on the National Park Service website. Angel's Landing is a 5.4-mile round-trip hike with a gain of 1,488 feet in elevation. It takes approximately 4 hours to complete and can become strenuous with steep slopes. However, the top is known for its amazing views of the Zion Canyon. After mentioning all of that, we did not venture up Angel's Landing on this trip. However, I wanted to mention it as an alternative option to what we did. After crossing the bridge, we took a left and followed the West Rim Trail, or what is also known as the Kayenta Trail. This trail is approximately 1.5 miles and connects the grotto to the Emerald Pools trails. This is rated as a moderate trail due to the drop-offs and unpaved sections. You will also climb in elevation along the way. However, it offers beautiful views of the Zion Canyon and Virgin River. Eventually, the top of the Emerald Pools will come into view. As you make your way to the end of the trail, you will be presented with the option of selecting from 3 other trails to experience the Emerald Pools. We took the easier route and selected the lower Emerald Pool Trail, which took us to the bottom of the falls. The stairs and pavement are wet, so take your time and be careful. After enjoying the view, we continued on the trail to eventually pick up the Sand Bench Trail. Due to the amount of snow Utah received in the winter of 2022-2023, the bridge connecting the lower Emerald Pools trails to the Zion Lodge was out of commission due to instability from rushing water. We learned this during our visit with the rangers at the visitor center. This is why it's important to check on what areas are closed before venturing out on your day. Having this information allowed us to plan accordingly, and we knew we were going to have a much longer hike than originally planned. Sandbench Trail is a soft sand trail that is frequented by horseback riding tours, so be careful where you walk. This also means that it may not be the most pleasant smelling trail to hike. However, you will end at the Court of the Patriarchs, which offers beautiful views of these sandstone peaks. The three peaks were named in 1916 by a Methodist minister, Dr. Frederick Vining Fisher, and two local boys from southern Utah. They were so inspired and struck by the stunning scenery of Zion Canyon, they gave the religious names of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to these beautiful peaks. This hike will probably take you anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. As you make your way out to the road, you will find yourself at shuttle stop 4. Most likely you will be ready to get freshened up and eat dinner. Take the shuttle back to the visitor center and make your way to your accommodations for the evening. I highly recommend staying at the Zion Canyon Lodge in Springdale. This is not to be confused with the Zion Lodge inside the park, which is also a very nice place to stay if you'd like to do so. The Zion Canyon Lodge offers spacious rooms with a living room and a full kitchen. In addition, they offer a free bagged breakfast with coffee and tea. Our bagged breakfast contained yogurt, a muffin, a bagel with cream cheese, and a piece of fruit. It was way more than we could eat, so it allowed us to take some snacks with us for later in the morning. If you're looking for dinner recommendations, head to Cafe Oscar. Most likely you will have to wait for a table, but the meal is worth it, especially if you like Mexican food. After dinner, if you are looking for a tasty treat, head across the street to Bumbleberry Bakery, which serves various baked goods as well as homemade ice cream with unique flavors. The next morning, grab your free bagged breakfast and head back into Zion National Park. You will need to show your pass and government identification. Find a parking spot in the visitor center and take the shuttle to stop number 3. From here, you can pick up the Pyus Trail, which runs along the Virgin River. This is an easy paved path that allows you to get beautiful shots of the canyon from the valley floor, as well as lovely views of the river. There are some paths that will allow you to get closer to the river's edge. Just be careful. Flash flooding and rushes of water can occur at any time. Make sure you stay alert and respect the power of nature. Leashed dogs and bicycles are also allowed on the path, so make sure you share the road with everyone. When we visited in May, there were beautiful spring flowers in bloom, which also made for some beautiful discoveries along the way. Enjoy the impressive canyon around you. According to the National Park Service, most of the rocks in Zion National Park are sedimentary rocks, made of bits and pieces of older rocks that have been weathered, eroded, and deposited in layers. Millions and millions of years ago, Zion was near sea level, close to the equator. The rock layers were deposited approximately 110 to 270 million years ago. The rock layers have been uplifted, tilted, and eroded to create the Grand Staircase, which is a series of colorful cliffs stretching between Bryce Canyon and the Grand Canyon. The bottom layer of rock at Bryce Canyon is the top layer at Zion, and the bottom layer at Zion is the top layer at the Grand Canyon. So Bryce Canyon is at the top of the Grand Staircase, and the Grand Canyon is at the bottom. Zion also contains some volcanic rock towards the top layer. Zion is in the Santa Clara volcanic field. The last eruption near the park was 1,000 years ago. According to the National Park Service, eruptions occur every 10,000 years. So it's probably safe for you to make the journey to this gorgeous park. If you are interested, you will walk past the museum. Otherwise, continue on the trail to make your way back to the visitor center. You can plan to spend at least an hour on this trail, especially if you want to make frequent stops to enjoy the beauty around you. This was a wonderful 1.7-mile hike in the morning. Once you get back to the visitor center, fill up your water and take advantage of the restrooms. Then get in your car and make this scenic drive on the Zion Mount Carmel Highway. There are various switchbacks and pullouts to stop and enjoy the views, as well as take some pictures of the canyon from another vantage point. As you admire the views of the canyon around you, you will see the various colorful layers that make up these beautiful walls. Eventually, you will find yourself entering the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel. This tunnel leads to the east exit of Zion National Park. If you are driving an oversized vehicle, you will have to pay a $15 fee to have traffic stopped so you can travel down the middle of the tunnel to make it safely to the other side. The tunnel was created in the 1920s when there weren't any large vehicles on the road. The tunnel runs through the canyon. It is not an easy task to widen the road. Therefore, to keep it safe for everyone, rangers will stop traffic one direction to allow oversized vehicles to make their way through. When you arrive at the tunnel, you may be stopped by a ranger if there is an oversized vehicle making its way through the tunnel. As you exit the tunnel, you may want to make a stop at the Canyon Overlook Trail. We missed this trail during our journey, but this is a great time to stop and make the 1-mile round-trip hike to get views of the lower Zion Canyon. We took this exit as we were heading to Bryce Canyon National Park as our next stop in our journey. It is very popular to pair these two parks together, so I encourage you to consider adding Bryce Canyon National Park to your itinerary. If you have extra time to spend in the park, you may consider making the journey to Angel's Landing or visiting the Weeping Rock. Other highlights include hiking the Narrows, which is a 9.4-mile round-trip hike through a slot canyon that requires you to navigate through water. This area of the park has become very popular due to social media. The Narrows was closed during our visit due to water levels from melting snow. The Narrows is usually available in the summer months, but it all depends on the water levels. Either way, be aware that the area is subject to frequent flash floods, so make sure you check with the rangers at the visitor center before attempting this hike. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget to hit that like button. If you would like to support future productions, you can buy me a snack using the link in the description below or show your support with a super thanks donation. Don't forget to join the Facebook group and follow me on Instagram for more content.